Good day, students. Welcome to math.serve.com. Hopefully, you're having a wonderful day wherever you're at. In this presentation, we're going to be going over how to write equations of lines given a point and the slope. This concept is covered in Algebra 1, Algebra 2, and Pre-Calculus. And there are going to be 6 practice problems at the end of this presentation to test your mastery, so do try them out. And if you'd like to get access to the entire playlist, the course, or other valuable worksheets, just take a look at the link in the description below. If this sounds like what you're looking for, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button so you can get updates to future uploads. Alright, the instructions for the examples are as follows. We are to write the equation of the line with the given point and slope in slope-intercept form and point-slope form. Alright, let's take a look at question number 1. So for question 1, let's say we have a slope of 2. So the slope is equal to 2. And we have the point 5, 3. Okay, so what's the equation of the line that goes through this point and has this slope in point slope and slope intercept form? Alright, so to get us started, we are going to take a look at the formula that will guide the problem solving process. So the formula is the point slope form of the equation of a line. So it's y minus y1 equals mx minus x1. Okay, so this is the formula that we're going to use to answer the question. Now the slope is given by m, and you have a point here. The x-coordinate is x1 and the y-coordinate is y1. Okay, so let's go ahead and write that down. We have the slope represented by the letter m is 2, and then we have x1 is the x-coordinate of the point is 5, and then y1, the y-coordinate of the point is 3. Alrighty, so what are we going to do? All we're going to do is plug in these values into our point slope formula in order to generate the desired forms. Alrighty, so let's go ahead and carry out the substitution. So what we have is we're just going to take 2 and plug it into m. We're going to take 5 and substitute it into x1. And then lastly, just take 3, which is y1, and substitute it right here. Okay, so if we carry out the substitution, we're going to have y minus, instead of y1, we have 3 equals m, which is 2, times x minus x1, which is 5. Okay, so make sure that we have no product of signs happening here. So we do not have any product of signs. Now this answer that we have right here is the point slope form. Okay, so let's specify what we have. This is one of the answers. This represents the point slope form. And we're also going to convert it into the slope intercept form. So this is the point slope form. So what's the slope intercept form going to look like? Now to get the slope intercept form, all we are going to do is we're going to simplify and isolate y. Okay, so simplify and isolate y to get the slope intercept form. Okay, alright, so what are we talking about? Let's go ahead and do it. So we have this equation right here, y minus 3 equals 2 times the quantity x minus 5. So to simplify, we're just going to distribute this 2 into x and negative 5. Alright, so we distribute that. If we distribute, we're going to have y minus 3 equals 2x minus 10. So we've simplified the right side. Now we're going to proceed to isolate y. Now to get y isolated, we have to get rid of this negative 3 right here, which can be accomplished by adding 3 to both sides of our equation. Okay, when we add 3 to both sides of our equation, that will result in the isolation of y, and then we're going to have the final desired result, which is y. These two add up to 0 equals 2x minus 10 plus 3 is negative 7. Y equals 2x minus 7. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the slope-intercept form of the equation of the line. Okay, so we have two forms. They represent exactly the same line, but they look different. So this is a slope-intercept form of the equation of the line. Okay, all right, let's take a look at question number 2. Going to be following exactly the same procedure. For number 2, let's say we have the slope of 1/3, so it's a fractional slope this time, and the point that the line goes through is 3, 4. Okay, all right, so let's do it. In this problem, we're going to write the equation of the line in point slope form and slope intercept form as we did in question number 1. All right, so to get us started, we are going to write the formula to guide our problem solving process. So we have y minus y1 equals mx minus x1. Okay, we know what y1 and x1 are, right? So this is x1 right here, this is y1, and the slope is m. All right, so let's go ahead and write it down again. So the slope, which is m, is a fraction 1/3, x1 is 3, and y1 is 4. So we're going to substitute as we did in number 1. Okay, so let's carry out the substitution. We have y minus y1, which is 4, equals m 1/3 times x minus x1, which is 3. Alrighty, now check the signs, make sure that we have no product of signs here, which is not the case. So this form that we have right here is the point slope form of the equation of the line. Okay, so let's go ahead and specify that. So this is the point slope form. All right, next we want to get the slope intercept form. Okay, so to get the slope intercept form, we know what the drill is. We're going to simplify and isolate y to get the slope intercept form. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that. So we're going to convert to slope intercept form, following the same procedure that we use in number 1, which is to simplify and isolate y. Okay, so let's rewrite the point slope form. Y minus 4 equals 1/3 x minus 3. Okay, so to simplify, we're going to distribute 1/3 to x and also to negative 3. All right, what does that yield? Well, it gives us y minus 4 equals 1/3 times x is just 1/3 x, and then 1/3 times 3. So think about 3 as 3 over 1. Okay, every integer can be written as a fraction or as a rational. Just put a 1 in the denominator. So we're going to multiply the numerator by the numerator and the denominator by the denominator. All right, so that will give us negative 3 over 3. Now this can be simplified further. So we have y minus 4 equals 1/3 x. 3 over 3 is 1. To finish this off, we're going to add 4 to both sides. Remember, the goal is to isolate y. Okay, so we're just going to add 4 to both sides of the equation. And when we do that, let's see what happens. We're going to get y, so this adds up to 0. Y equals 1/3 x. Now, you're combining numbers with different signs, right? So you subtract and keep the sign of the bigger. So it's going to be 4 minus 1, which is 3, and the bigger number is positive. So it's going to be y equals 1/3 x plus 3. Okay, so this form that we just got is the what? This is the slope-intercept form. Okay, so the slope-intercept form. And the slope-intercept form is basically y equals mx plus b. So slope-intercept form. All right, let's go on to number 3. All right, so for number 3, let's say we have the following conditions. Let's say um, the slope is 3/2. So we have the slope of 3/2. And the point is -2, 0. Okay, let's take a look at this one. All right, so for question number 3, we're going to get started by writing down the formula, the point slope form of the equation of a line. Y minus y1 equals mx minus x1. It has a point and the slope. And then we know what our m, x1, and y1 are. Okay, so our m is the slope. M is 3/2. X1 is -2. And y1 is 0. So what we're going to do next is just carry out our substitution. Substitute these values into the formula. So we have y minus y1, which is 0, equals m 3/2 times x minus x1, which is -2. Okay, so is this the point slope form? Not yet. Notice that we have the product of two signs here, so we have to resolve that. So we have y minus 0 equals 3/2m. Now when you multiply two signs that are the same, the resulting sign is always positive. So x plus 2, like that, and there goes your final answer. Alright, this represents the point slope form. Point slope form. Alright, we also need the slope intercept form. Let's go ahead and figure out what that is. So we know the drill. To get the slope intercept form, we're going to simplify and isolate y. So convert, let's change the thickness there. So we're going to convert to slope intercept form. Alright, so we'll start with the original line, which is y minus 0, the point slope form. Y minus 0 equals 3/2 times x plus 2. And we're going to simplify. Okay, so y minus 0 is just y. And then 3/2 we have to distribute. Okay, so we're going to distribute this 3/2 to x and positive 2. Alright, so 3/2 times x is 3/2x. Alright, imagine that there's a 1/1 here in front of the x, plus you can write 2 as a fraction, 2/1. 3/2 times 2/1. You multiply numerator by numerator and denominator by denominator, so we have 6/2. And this can be simplified further. We have y equals 3/2x plus 6 divided by 2 is 3. So this second equation we just got, this one right here, represents the slope intercept form. Okay, it's the slope intercept form. Okay, let's go ahead and take a look at question number 4. So for question 4, let's say we have the following situation. Let's say we have, let's see, number 4, slope, negative slope this time, a slope of -4/3, and the point is -9, -2. Alright, so let's do this one. Alright, so the first thing we want to do is we want to write the equation of this line in point slope form. So to get us started, we write down the formula, the point slope form of the equation of a line, y minus y1 equals m x minus x1. This is the point slope form. And then let's write down the components. We know that the slope m is -4/3, x1 is -9, and y1 is -2. So what we're going to do next is we're going to go ahead and substitute. Alright, so that's going to give us y minus y1, which is negative 2, equals m, negative 4/3, times x minus x1, which is negative 9. Okay? Alright, so is this the point slope form? No, we have product of signs that has to be resolved here. So let's go ahead and resolve that. So here we have a product of two signs that are the same. Whenever you multiply the same signs, you always end up with what? Positive. Okay? Slash and dash. Minus times minus, just slash and dash. Y plus 2 equals negative 4/3. We have exactly the same situation here. Two signs that are the same, you slash and dash. Minus times minus is positive, plus 9. And ladies and gentlemen, there goes your point slope form. Okay? So this represents the point slope form of the equation of the line. Point slope form. Alright, so what we're going to do next is we're going to go ahead and write it in slope-intercept form. So to convert to slope-intercept form, all we're just going to do is simplify and isolate y. Alright, so convert to slope-intercept form. Alright, let's do it. So to convert to slope-intercept form, we have y plus 2 equals negative 4/3 x plus 9. So to simplify, on the right side, we have to distribute this coefficient here. So we're going to distribute negative 4/3 to x and to positive 9. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that. So if we carry out the distribution there, we're going to have y plus 2 is equal to negative 4/3 times x is negative 4/3 x. And then we can write 9 as 9 over 1. Okay? So negative 4/3 times 9 over 1. Remember, when you multiply different signs, you always have a negative. And whenever you multiply the same signs, you have a positive. So minus times plus here will give us minus since the signs are different. 4 times 4 times 9 is 36 divided by 3. How did that happen? When you're multiplying fractions, you multiply numerator by numerator and denominator by denominator. So 4 times 9 is 36, 3 times 1 is 3. Alright, let's simplify that a little bit further. Y plus 2 is equal to negative 4/3 x. 36 divided by 3 is 12. Okay? Now to finish that off, we are going to proceed to isolate y. To isolate y, we will have to subtract 2 from both sides. So subtract 2 from both sides of the equation. And when we do that, we're going to end up with y isolated and the equation completely simplified, which is the desired form, the slope-intercept form. Okay, so we have y plus 2 minus 2 is 0 equals negative 4/3 x minus 12 minus 2 minus 14. Alrighty, so ladies and gentlemen, we have the slope-intercept form of the equation of the line. Alright, so let's write it down. Slope-intercept form. Okay, let's take a look at question number 5. So for question 5, what if we have the following situation? What if we have a slope of negative 1 and the point negative 5, 2. Okay? Alright, so let's go ahead and do this one. So we're going to start by writing down the formula that's going to guide us. And the formula is a point slope form of the equation of a line, y minus y1 equals mx minus x1. Okay, so we have our components already provided for us. We don't have to look for anything. Our slope m is negative 1. x1 is the x-coordinate of the point, which is negative 5. and y1 is the y-coordinate of the point, which is 2. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and substitute, okay? So we're going to substitute these values into the points slope formula. So we have y minus y1, y minus 2 equals m, which is negative 1, times x minus x1, which is minus 1. Okay? Alright, wait a minute. So x1 is negative 5 actually. Let's fix that. x1 is negative 5. So minus 1. Minus 5. Alright. Okay, sorry about that. Alright, so we have that down. Now, the question is, have we achieved the point slope form yet? The answer is no. Why not? Well, we have two signs that has to be resolved here, so let's go ahead and fix that. We have y minus 2 is equal to negative 1 times x minus times minus, you just slash and dash, it becomes plus 5. And ladies and gentlemen, this is the point slope form of the equation of the line. Okay, so let's write that down. This is known as the point slope form. Okay, now we are going to proceed to write the same line in slope-intercept form. Okay, so let's write down what we're about to do. We're about to convert to what? Convert to slope-intercept form. How do we do that? Well, we already know what the drill is. You simplify and isolate y. Okay, so we'll start with where we stopped, which is y minus 2 equals negative 1 x plus 5. Now what we're going to do is proceed to simplify first. So negative 1, we can distribute that to x and positive 5. When we carry out that distribution, we're going to end up with y minus 2 equals, and then when you distribute negative x, 1x, negative x, and then negative 1 times positive 5 is minus 5. So remember, anytime you multiply different signs, you always end up with negative, okay? So we're done simplifying the right side. We can't simplify anymore, so let's proceed to isolate y so we can have the slope-intercept form, okay? So to isolate y, we get rid of negative 2 by using its inverse, plus 2. So we add 2 to both sides of the equation, and our final answer is going to be y, change the thickness there, y equals negative x, and then minus 5 plus 2, the signs are different, so you subtract and keep the sign of the bigger, minus 3. So y equals negative x minus 3 is the slope-intercept form. So let's write that down, slope-intercept form. Alright, let's take a look at one more example, and then we'll have you do some practice problems. You try out some problems on your own and see if you've mastered the skill of writing down equations of lines given a point and a slope. Okay, so number 6. So question 6, let's say we have a slope of 9 and it goes through the point 0, 7. Okay, let's go ahead and do that. So the solution is as follows. We're going to start off by writing down the equation of the line. The formula, which is a point slope form of the equation of a line, y minus y1 equals mx minus x1. Alrighty. Now we know what our m, x1 and y1 are, right? So our m is 9. x1 is 0, the x coordinate of our point, and y1 is 7. So let's go ahead and substitute those values into our point slope form of the equation of a line. If we do that, we're going to get y minus y1, which is y minus 7, is equal to m, which is 9 times x minus x1, which is 0. Alrighty. If you look at this form right here, you notice that we do not have any product of signs. So this is the point slope form of the equation of the line with this given information. So let's write it down. This is the point slope form. We are now ready to write the same equation in slope-intercept form. Now, how do we accomplish that? We accomplish that by converting, right? We convert it to the y equals mx plus b form. So convert to slope-intercept form. Okay? The slope-intercept form is given by y equals mx plus b, and the procedure involves what we've done in previous examples. Simplify and isolate y. Okay, so we have y equals, y minus 7 equals 9 times x minus 0. Let's simplify this completely. We have y minus 7 equals 9. Now what is x minus 0? X minus 0 is just x, right? So we have that, and then we have y minus 7 equals 9x. And then to finish this off, we have to isolate y. To isolate y, we're going to add 7 to both sides of our equation. And when we do that, we're going to end up with the equation y equals 9x plus 7. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is the slope-intercept form of the equation of the line. Okay, so let's write it down. So this is the slope-intercept form. Alright, so how well have you mastered the art of writing down the equation of lines in slope-intercept form and point-slope form when you're given a slope and a point? To demonstrate mastery, we would like you to try out the following practice problems. Alright, so we have 6 problems for you to try out. So let's go ahead and write them down. So the same process as we did in the 6 previous examples, okay? So for question 1, let's say you have a slope of 2 and the point is 1, 3. So write that write the equation in slope-intercept form and point-slope form. Number 2, what if you have a slope of negative 1/2 and the point is 6, 2. Number 3, what if you have a slope of 4/3 and the point is negative 3, 0. Number 4, what if you have a slope of negative 5/3 and the point is negative 6, negative 4. For number 5, what if you have a slope of negative 1 and the point is 7, 9. And then lastly, for number 6, what if you have a slope of 3 and the point that it goes through is 0, 4. Okay, so what we would like you to do, go ahead and pause this video, try out these 6 problems, and then when you're done, click back on the play button so you can see what the answers are. Alright, so hopefully you had a chance to try out the problems. We're going to go ahead and write down the answers. So in our answers, we're going to write down the point-slope form first, and then the slope-intercept form second. Okay, so for number 1, the point-slope form is y minus 3 equals 2 times the quantity x minus 1, and the slope-intercept form is y equals 2x plus 1. For number 2, the point-slope form is y minus 2 equals negative 1/2 x minus 6, and then the slope-intercept form is y equals negative 1/2 x plus 5. For number 3, the point slope form is y minus 0 equals 4/3 x minus 3. X plus 3. And then the slope intercept form is y equals 4/3 x. Let's take that out. Y equals 4/3 x plus 4. For number 4, the point slope form is given by y plus 4 equals negative 5/3 x plus 6. And then the slope intercept form is given by y equals negative 5/3 x minus 14. For number 5, the point slope form is given by y minus 9 equals negative 1 x minus 7. And then the slope intercept form is given by y equals negative x plus 16. And then number 6, the point slope form is given by y minus 4 equals 3 x minus 0. That's the point slope form. And the slope intercept form is given by y equals 3x plus 4. Alright, so how did you do? Go ahead and let us know in the comment section below how you did with these practice problems. And if there are any questions or clarifications that you like us to make, go ahead and include that in the comment section below, and we'll be more than glad to respond. Thanks so much for taking the time to watch this presentation. Really appreciate it. If you found the contents of this tutorial helpful in your studies of linear equations, do give us a thumbs up. Your positive feedback is very valuable to us. Do not forget to subscribe to our channel for updates to the remainder of this review series. We have a whole bunch of tutorials we upload regularly to our YouTube page. If you have any questions or comments as indicated earlier, just place it in the comment section below, and we'll be more than glad to respond. A whole bunch of resources can be found in the links in the description below, or just visit our website at mathgoodserve.com. Thanks again for watching, and have a wonderful day. Goodbye.